Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
What I would like to ask Professor Yan is, what is China's viewpoint on Joe Biden's presidency and if he comes to power? Do you think there will be a cooling of rhetoric that has been going on back and forth ever since the Trump administration took power? So how does China see a Biden administration? Will there be a normalization of relationships in the future?
Okay. Admiral Muralidharan?
Thank you, Ambassador Ashok and Professor Yan. Part of my question you already answered while answering Ambassador Goel as well as Admiral Sinha. But I'll be more direct. Do you think that the armed forces are now going to become more high-tech in their weapon systems and in their capabilities rather than the conventional? More so since you mentioned the case of Iran, where you expressed a view that because of the cyber attacks that the nuclear system was damaged. Now, could not that happen to the nuclear arsenal of states, including by now what we talked of and then dismissed would there be chance of an actual Star Wars happening in future with the kind of technology coming in? Thank you.
Okay, one more we can take Sonak Chaudhary. Sonak, will you come in? Yeah.
Hi everyone. My question to Professor Yan Xuetong is that how does China view the US-backed the Clean Network Initiative, which has been launched recently? Thank you.
Back to you, Professor Yan.
Okay, I got three questions, and the first one is how about Biden's policy toward China, and I would say, and Biden first will continue Trump's principle. That's an anti-China principle. That means Biden will continue confrontation against China, and there won't be any difference. But Biden will adopt a different strategy to achieve that goal. He will prefer multilateralism instead of unilateralism. So Trump relies on a very little on his traditional allies. He relies less collective efforts and in rivalry or competition with China. And Biden will make an adjustment on this perspective. Biden will try to make some concession to its allies for the purpose get support from the allies to its policy against China. So that means, and you will see the China will face a different difficulties or pressures from Biden administration and than from the Trump. For instance, and the Trump prefer the trade war, and my understanding, and if Biden came to power, he do not like the trade war. He don't think increase the customer tax or will serve Americans' interests. He will continue have a more trade with China rather than reduce the trade with China. But Biden will increase more political pressure on political issues like human rights issues on China, and he may initiate some anti-China policy in reform of WHO. So this is very different. And also Biden may be considering cooperation with China on what? On the climate change. And Trump definitely not. And so then, generally speaking, that Biden will continue a tough policy on China, but his strategy different from the Trump. Second question is about the technology, high tech for the military. I think this is a very good question, and based on your sensitive about the change of high tech in military equipment. And nowadays you find that AI is new technology. What mean AI? AI means that more and more military equipment will operate it not by a human being, but by AI. No, this kind of technology technological progress and in the military equipment will make what? Make the attack more exactly, make the casualty becomes smaller. Now, you look at that, the war in the Afghanistan and or in the Iraq, and actually caused less casualty than the war in the other proxy wars during the Cold War. So the more advanced the weapon and the human being develop, actually each war, they kill less people. That's a general trend. And so from my understanding, what's the problem? The problem is very, very serious, because less casualty, that make the policymakers becomes more brave to launch military attack. Because anyhow, they just attack the facilities. They said, oh, well, we attack your facility, look at that, no casualty. People say, okay, anyhow, just destroy some weapons, cannons, buildings, but no people die. Then people will tolerate this kind of war. They say, okay, let's just destroy things, not kill people's lives. People are still alive. So generally speaking, with AI applied to military equipment, there will be more military attack. Look at the situation in Afghanistan. When US used the drone, they launched more attack than before they used the drone. So I think this is a very, very good question, and they will make this military situation different from our current imagination. The last question is about Americans' plan and announced by Pompeo, the clean website. Well, actually, this idea is based on what? Based on Americans' domination. This plan is based on American domination. That means, okay, let's all of the countries and work with the US, establish information alliance without China. And everyone can join the US but China. Based on what? Based on American domination. That means then we can guarantee no one steals information from you except the United States. Why you join this plan? Because you trust the US. You trust even US steal your information, you're safe. You do not worry about American steal your information. So this plan is very clear. And from my understanding, this plan possibly become attractive to some country and politically fully trust the US. They don't think the US will use this information, hurt them. But certainly all the members understand that if you join this alliance, then your information controlled by all of the data and information controlled by the United States. But I think a lot of major powers hesitate. They said, wait a minute, we do not want China collect our information and the data. But then they ask a question, why we allow the US to do it? Why US collect our data and the information is safe? I doubt most of major powers will trust the US. And we have so many cases before, how much US uses this data against the individual, against the foreign company, against the foreign CEOs, against the foreign countries. And I don't think, and any clever government trusts the US, this plan initiated by the United States.